Chapter 9. Oh man, we only have 2 more days to shop for the wedding. This is really stressful. Yes, especially working full time, Janine said. It's a good thing we have 2 men to carry the bags and the baby, even if they don't have a clue what to shop for. Hey, careful what you're saying over there. We've got the power to divorce you right here, right now, Miguel said. Please, Janine said. We aren't even married yet. Yeah, and besides, you couldn't even survive a day without us, I joined in. You're right. I can't imagine a day without you in my life, Janine, Peter said, turning his charm on again. You'd better come with something sweeter than that, Miguel. You can't let my best friend get more love than me, I said playfully. Baby, you're going to get it so much in years to come that you won't even be able to handle it, Miguel said in a smart tone. I like the sound of that. You can keep your lyrics, Peter, I said, laughing. I'm kind of a bit worried about facing my folks after all this time, Janine said. I don't even want to stay in that house. Don't worry about that, baby girl. Mikasa sukasa. You know we've got extra rooms and my mom won't mind, I said. A friend in need is a friend indeed, she said, hugging me. It's the least I can do. Well, the good thing is, shortly after we go back to Jamaica, you'll have all legal rights to stay in our home, Peter said. Whom God has put together, let no man put asunder, I said in my preacher's voice. Where are you guys going to live anyway? I'm thinking of going back home for a while, Janine said, looking lovingly into Peter's eyes. I can lease the house and sell the car. We can always buy a new one when we return. Sounds like a plan. I'm actually very relieved that I don't have to uproot and leave my family in the initial stage like I was prepared to do. Who knows? Maybe you can get some closure to your family issues before we come back here, Peter said, taking her hand and kissing it as we walked. That would be great. Wait till I tell Molly the good news. She's going to flip, I said. Ah! Miguel let out as Peter and Janine laughed. As I turned to see what had happened, Miguel said, Your mommy's little angel. You puked all over me so that girls won't want me. Miguel Jr. had a huge smile on his little face. That's my boy, I said, kissing him and cleaning his father's shirt. You keep away all those girls at all cost. The next day was filled with packing and goodbyes. We had told Jamie and all the people at the crisis center that we were leaving and they had come to help us pack. They even agreed to take care of the sale of Janine's car, the leasing of the house, and the transfer of the funds to her account. All set? Miguel asked the following day as Peter loaded the last bag into the vehicle. Yep, Janine said. I sure am going to miss this place. Yeah, so am I. It feels like a second home now. A haven in a time of trouble and the place my child was raised for the first few months of his life, I said. And the place I recovered my first and only wife, Peter said, smiling and embracing his fiancée. She smiled back with only the slightest sign of a tear in her eye. Yes, it's my little paradise. Well, let's go. We have a flight to catch, Miguel interrupted, giving me a little peck on the cheek. We prayed in our hearts that things would work out perfectly for Janine's family once they reunited. She had admitted to us that she would really love if all the members of her family were present at the wedding, including her father. Surprisingly, he was among the little entourage that met us at the airport, and he was the only one with a welcome home sign in his hand. He stood there beside his wife. My mom, dad, and sister were all waiting anxiously to meet the newborn. They all took off running towards us when we were a few feet away. Hi, baby. How are you? And how is my grandson? My father said. Can I hold him? Sure, I said. Everyone else was standing back because they knew they dare not touch Miguel Jr. before his grandfather had a chance to bond with him. As for me, I knew I'd be lucky if I got a chance to feed him at some point in the day. And even then, I'd probably have to prime from somebody's arm. So, how are you, Mom? And Sophie? You look so different after such a long time, I said. I'm fine, Mom said, but Sophie was content with just hugging me and not letting me go. It was at that time that I realized just how much I had missed them all. At the same time, Janine and her family were having quite a reunion. Her parents were telling her how sorry they were and how much they had missed her. Janine seemed to be very receptive too. She actually hugged her father. That almost blew me away. And then I realized that it was God Himself. Peter stood beside her the entire time. He seemed to want to protect her from him, but did a good job of allowing her to handle the situation. I hope you don't mind too much, but I've arranged to stay with Marcia while I'm here, she told them. They looked really disappointed, but they told her that they understood and that their doors were open at any time, no matter what. Let's go, sweetie. Your father drove the bus. We all can travel together. I was able to buy some really cute things for you guys, I said as we walked toward the bus. Wait till you see all the things we got for the baby, Sophie said excitedly. She was still hugging me around the waist as we walked, trying to peek at the baby at the same time. This kid has nothing from me, my father exclaimed. Yet he managed to get your sister's eyes. This is incomprehensible. That's because the baby's cute, my dear, my mother said as she finally got to hold her grandson for the first time. He is the splitting image of his father. Thanks for the compliment, Miguel said. After the proposal, he and my parents had gotten back into the son-in-law mode that they've been in before the incident. Though my father had told him that he would never be able to forget how much pain he had caused his daughter, he said he was willing to work with the relationship as long as that's what I wanted. After all, he'd said, you're the closest I've ever come to having a son. Mom, Peter said he needs a best man since Miguel is getting married the same time he is, and he doesn't have any brothers. Do you think Dad should fill in the vacancy? I said. We all laughed. I'm the giveaway father. What do I want to be the best man for? I'll be proudly walking my daughter down the aisle. By the way, I'm taking the baby with me. He'll be my sidekick, Dad said. No. I don't want anyone turning my son into a wedding monkey. He'll sit in the front row with Mom while his parents get married. That's about it. Is that a motherly streak I'm hearing? What do you say to that, Miguel? Dad teased. She's the boss. If my guess is right, she'll just call me to do the dirty work, the big D word, discipline. Yep, that's right. They always do, Dad replied. You think you're there to look pretty? Mom laughed. Wait up, guys, Janine called. We hadn't realized that they had still been talking with her parents. You wouldn't guess what my mom just told me before they left. I guess God's still in the business of answering prayers. What is it? My mom asked. My dad got saved. Isn't that amazing? She replied. Yes, darling, that's the great God that we serve. Almighty, all-powerful, He's able to do anything we need Him to do. Chapter 10. When we got home, Molly was waiting for us. Needless to say, it was quite a reunion. She actually got the baby away from my father for a few minutes, but he soon came to reclaim his only grandchild. I had a ball laughing at them. We all spent most of the evening recapping past events and making fun of each other. Later that evening, the conversation turned to the upcoming wedding. I want butterflies to be let out by the bridesmaids and groomsmen as I exit the church, I told them. And I want to arrive in a carriage, Janine added. I like the carriage idea, too, I said. Boy, now I know my friends have good taste. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That was my idea, Peter boasted. Yeah, and so was the helicopter idea, Janine added. What helicopter idea? My father asked. He wanted us to leave the church in a helicopter when we go to take pictures, Miguel answered. You must have a millionaire in your family, my sister exclaimed. No, but our expenses have been lessened because it's a double wedding, he retaliated, gently. Yes, so we can spend that money on butterflies and a carriage, I said with a wink. It's their wedding. It's better to just let them have their way, or you'll never hear the end of it, Miguel responded. While we were at the airport, my mom was mentioning that they wanted to make a tangible contribution to the wedding. I'm going to accept. I think they are trying really hard, Janine said. I'll throw in a little treat for you guys, she said, winking at Peter and Miguel. What about I give the guys the money they give me, and they can come up with something creative for the wedding? Sounds good, I said. Since it's you throwing your money away and not mine, I said, avoiding Miguel's glare. I thought that since my parents were there, I would have gotten away with it, but he didn't allow me to at all. He gave me a huge bite on the shoulder. Ow! I said, laughing. I was just giving some honest advice. Okay, I'll give them the money. Let's see just how creative our husbands-to-be can be, Janine said. I hope I know what I'm doing. Hey, aren't you supposed to be my groupie? My cheering squad? Don't even start, Peter said, pinching her lightly as she flung her arms around him in a bear hug. It's a female thing, I said, laughing at them, along with the rest of the family. Well, just prepare to be surprised when we decide. You guys make all the decisions for the wedding. You've paid us off sufficiently, Miguel said. I think I know someone who can access a carriage for us. I'll have to get right on it though, I said, getting up to use the phone. Come on, let me show you all the things we bought for the wedding, Mom. We found some really cute stuff that fit perfectly with the color scheme, Janine said to my mother. Pete, will you please help me with the suitcases? Sure, at your service, he said, getting up. Freeze, Molly said. I have an announcement to make. I gave my life back to Christ at church last night. Ah! I screamed, running to hug her. My prayers were not in vain, though the answer was so long in coming. Thank you, Jesus. The Lord is good, my mother said excitedly. Oh, bless the Lord, my father shouted, for the many prayers I've prayed, not all in vain. Yippee! My sister exclaimed, jumping up and down like a 2-year-old. Can you imagine what it is like in the rejoicing section of heaven right now? Peter asked. I'd like to be there, Miguel answered. I'm so happy for you. So very happy, I said. Very, Janine reiterated. This girl has kept prayer meetings on my behalf. I'm telling you, girl. My boyfriend is having a hard time grasping the consequences, and we had a little argument about it last night. But I've made up my mind. If we have to split. I love him, but it's about time I started thinking about my soul. That's it, baby girl, Janine said. I said, hugging her again. The rest of the night was spent talking about arrangements for Molly's baptism, finalizing some decisions, fine-tuning others, and putting plans into action. There was a buzz of excitement in the house as we all fooled around and got comfortable at my parents' house. We were all going to spend the night before splitting up the next day. Janine and I were going to stay with my parents while Miguel and Peter would stay at the house that my mother had rented for Miguel and I to live in after she heard the news of the wedding. Of course, that means that they all had the pleasure of disassembling the baby's room and decorating the new house. We were anxious to see it, and we liked the fact that it was much closer to home than our college homes. Janine and Peter's house was on the same street as ours. My parents had also sought out along with Peter's parents while we were away. Everybody crashed wherever they could find a place. We were exhausted by the time we went to bed. Of course, everyone was fussing that the baby's mother couldn't sleep in the living room on the couch like the others, so I had to use one of the rooms, all alone save for the baby. In the morning, among the flurry of activities, I insisted that I be allowed to see the house before we went to do the many things we had to do in preparation for the wedding, which was 2 days away. Mom insisted that we have the day for planning and that she and Dad will keep the baby and let us have the car. Of course, I know they just want to have the baby to themselves though, I said to Miguel. I expressed a few bottles of breast milk and left them in the fridge, telling them everything I knew about the baby so they would know what to do in every possible event. After Miguel had persuaded me that everything would be fine, I finally pulled myself away from the baby long enough for him to get me into the car, shut the door, and pull away from the gate, laughing at me the entire time. "You're pathetic," Janine said, laughing too. "Who do you think changed your dirty diapers when you were small? I bet you'll even take him to the altar on your wedding day." "Yep," Peter agreed, laughing heartily. "Nah, no way. I love my son to the T, but not even he will be able to steal you away from me for 1 minute on our wedding day. I'll do everything in my power to make sure he'll be comfortable during the ceremony, and I'll personally take him to you as soon as we leave the altar," Miguel said, looking at me with a smile. Peter and Janine were laughing so hard at the prospect of me taking the baby to the altar that I had to stop worrying for a minute and join in with the laughter. "We'll see," I said jokingly. The morning went by so quickly, and I was amazed at the infrequency of my worry about Miguel Jr. After calling the first time and being told that he was quite at home with my parents, no crying, no fussing at all, I didn't call again. It seemed he had recognized his family right away and settled just as fast as the rest of us had. My dad had called once to tell me how adorable he was and talked about all the things he was doing that he hadn't thought he would have been doing as yet. I just got so caught up in the things we had to do that I didn't have time to worry if I had wanted to. The day was enjoyable but tiring. By the time we got home, I was exhausted, having run a marathon so we could be home before evening. I had decided to go home earlier than the others because of the potential that the baby's milk would finish soon. The guys opted to tie up those loose ends. "You'd better start trusting your husbands to do some of the work," they said. "Just hope you don't have anything up your sleeves," Janine said. "When have we ever?" Peter said innocently. As soon as the guys left, we started practicing the song we had decided to sing while we were walking down the aisle. It was our surprise to the guys, but we hadn't had much chance to practice lately. We practiced it until it was perfect. As expected, the 2 days passed at the speed of lightning. There was a whole lot of activity, and there was love and excitement in the air as we put ourselves together for the wedding.